My name is Leslie Hessmiller, and I am currently a sophomore in Bloomsburg University. I'm double majoring in American Sign Language and Criminal Justice, and for my topic, I chose comparing the management of prison systems in the United States to that of Norway. I chose this topic because I believe that the United States prison system needs to be focused more on rehabilitation and reintegration, and Norway's systems are actually already trying reintegration programs and rehabilitation programs that are decreasing the recidivism rates in their towns, and I think that that is what we need to see in the United States. So, Norway's prison system was actually re examined in the late 1980s because of riots, high recidivism rates, and the death of two guards. Recidivism, for those of you that don't know, is the rate at which a person gets out of prison and they reoffend. So, the belief in Norway was that the most important thing is how you treat people. They ask a basic question: what kind of neighbor would we want? And the result of this is the way that the prisons are run in Norway. The prison systems in Norway have four key elements: the principle of normality, a focus on humanity, dynamic security, and an emphasis on reintegration. And I'll get into these deeper later in the slides. So Halden Prison in Norway is it's referred to as the most humane prison in the world. It was opened in 2010, and it was designed to fit the Norwegian philosophy of incarceration. So this is a picture of one of the cells. There's a big window. There's a lot of light coming in. They have their own bathrooms with their own shower and their own toilet. They are allowed to go into the laundry room whenever they please. They're allowed to open and close their doors when they please. And they have a lot more freedoms than inmates in the United States do. So the four key elements in Norway, as I said before, were the principle of normality, the focus on humanity, dynamic security, and reintegration. So the principle of normality, in these prisons, the living conditions were not like the cells in the United States. They're kind of like home-like, more so than the cells in the United States, but they have their own bathrooms in their cells. They don't have those in the United States. They're allowed to open and close their doors as they please. In the United States, they are locked in their cells. Inmates are locked in their cells, and they do not get to choose the time that they leave their cells. A focus on humanity is big in Norway as well. So the inmates in Norway are still treated like human beings. In one of the videos that I watched while I was researching this, there was an inmate who was transferred from a Brazil prison to Halden prison in Norway, and he said that in Brazil he was treated like a dog, like an animal, and in Norway he was treated like an actual person, and he saw a bright future for himself instead of just thinking that there was nothing left for him. So, the humanity focus is a big thing. It makes inmates feel like they are not wanted, like they have nothing better to be, and the mental health of inmates is a very big impact on the way that they are when they come out of the prison system. In Norway, dynamic security is a very big component of their prison system. So their contact officers are actually, the goal was for them to be social workers as well as their officers. So the officers participate in a 2-year full-time college education and they focus on psychology, ethics, communication techniques, criminology, law, and human rights. And now they do learn self-defense and extraction techniques because they are still needed just in case. but every inmate is assigned to a contact officer. So every inmate in the Norway prison system has a connection to a human, no matter what. They still have to talk to their contact officer. They have connection to their contact officer. They don't become friends with their contact officer, but they are still connected to human life through their contact officer. And then the last one is reintegration. And one of the inmates from the video that I watched said that he felt help as soon as he got into the prison in Norway. He felt help to try and make him a better man when he got out, as soon as he was already there. So the USA prison system this is a picture of it. There's small cells with bars, and there's often no outside lighting. The correctional officer training, it's focused on concepts and procedures related to defensive tactics and subduing violent inmates and riot control. In the United States, the guards and the prisoners, they aren't forced to learn the psychology that the prisoner guards are in Norway. They're not forced to learn the human rights and all of the other things that Norway officers are forced to. And they focus on just defense tactics and subduing violent inmates and riot control. And the United States has one of the highest recidivism rates in the world. So, comparing and contrasting, Norway has officers trained in psychology, ethics, communication techniques, criminology, law, and human rights. Their cells are like home. They have doors that they can open and close at any time. The inmates in Norway get to wear their regular clothes as well. And this is a big deal, because once you take away a person's liberty, you already put them in jail, you lock them up. Once you take away their clothes as well, it's another mental health issue. It messes with a person's head. Once you take away their liberty already, you're taking away another complete part from them, and it will potentially deteriorate their mental health and deteriorate their future. In the United States, officers trained in principles, concepts, and procedures related to defensive tactics and subduing violent inmates and riot control. The inmates are locked in their cells, and they cannot leave as they please. And inmates have to wear jumpsuits that are given to them by the prison in the United States. A lot of people think that makes them like lesser. They see it as like they're lesser. They're all dressed the same. They're put together in a group, and that is why that they feel lesser. And then these are my references.